Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmania's number of confirmed coronavirus cases has jumped to 17, with more locals connected to a cruise ship in New South Wales. Public Health now saying it's close to discouraging people from socialising in places such as local cafes to ensure strict social distancing.
On board a luxury cruise ship, more Tasmanian diagnoses of coronavirus rising to the surface overnight.
3 of the new cases have been associated with travel on the Ruby Princess cruise that docked in Sydney last Thursday after taking a trip from Sydney around New Zealand and back to Sydney.
51 Tasmanians on board the vessel are now back home. Public Health saying all are in self-isolation, with a number showing flu-like symptoms.
It's possible we'll have some more cases of coronavirus infection diagnosed among those people in the next 3 or 4 days. But there was also some influenza circulating on that vessel, so we may actually diagnose a few cases of flu too.
The state's cases jumping to 17 after 6 more cases were confirmed over the weekend. A local man and woman were diagnosed yesterday after returning from a trip to Europe, and another Tasmanian who travelled from the United Kingdom testing positive this morning.
Contact tracing of all these people is underway. These people are all in isolation and getting appropriate medical care.
A further Tasmanian who contracted the infection on the Ruby Princess is still recovering in New South Wales. The state government now continuing its push for Tasmanians to adhere to social distancing measures and self-isolation when advised.
In Tasmania, we are doing a good job, but we need to do a better job. If Tasmanians need assistance whilst they're being asked to self-isolate, we will provide that assistance. We will put in place the wraparound services to support you.
It's a little sad to say that we really think that it's probably getting to the point where it's going to be necessary to discourage people from going out for anything other than a quick takeaway at a place such as a cafe.
The Premier taking part in the National Cabinet meeting tonight to discuss mass gatherings, schools and aged care providers.
We will be agreeing on a nationally uniform set of rules in terms of aged care facilities. It is important that we protect the most vulnerable in our community, and there have been discussions ongoing with the aged care sector.
With Labor calling for more support to aid those who are struggling financially.
The government's priority now, after their meeting tonight, has to be ensuring first that people have got income security so they can stay home, and then acting swiftly to make more significant public health interventions. This is vital if we're going to save lives.
This will get tougher. There will be more measures that we will need to introduce. What I would ask is for all Tasmanians to work with us.
So far, more than 1,000 coronavirus tests have been conducted in Tasmania. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
The tourism collapse from COVID-19 has seen a rush in Airbnbs into Tasmania's rental market. But the Tenants' Union has been quick to hose down hopes that the extra supply will be the answer to Hobart's housing woes.
Empty airports, empty streets, now empty homes. The phones are ringing hot for real estate agents as Airbnb owners scramble into the rental market.
A lot of them are seeing anywhere between 10 and 30 calls in the space of a 48-hour period, so it's quite excessive.
The REIT expects thousands of homes will change to short or medium-term rentals. In Hobart, COVID-19 has already made a dramatic difference.
What we're finding is for the first time the number of rentals across Greater Hobart has increased above 400, and the vast majority of those looking on site are Airbnb properties which are transferring across.
Whether more homes means lower rents remains to be seen. Many of the properties now available are also fully furnished.
The thing we've got to remember with Airbnb properties coming onto the market, most of them are going to be top end of the market, so they're going to be having rents over $500 a week.
The Tenants' Union says that will make little difference to those struggling in the housing crisis, unless their properties are more affordable.
What we know is that more than 150 beds have become available in the last few days in inner city Hobart, and more than 60 in Launceston.
Strong house prices are expected to stay where they are, at least for now. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart's popular Farmgate market went ahead today, following advice from the Federal Health Department. In a statement, organisers said the market was exempt from the outdoor gathering rule, as it provides people with access to food similar to a supermarket. The market has introduced new safety measures to promote hygiene and social distancing, including hand washing stations, removing product samples and more space between stalls. Meanwhile, the Evandale Sunday market cancelled just hours before it was due to open. In a social media post on Saturday night, organisers said the decision had been made following a complaint to the Health Minister. The late notice was too late for some stallholders who still sold produce on the main street this morning. A social housing unit still under construction has been destroyed in a suspected arson attack at Gagebrook last night. The developer says the project will now be significantly pushed back, delaying some families from accessing a home.
A blackened empty shell of a future home left standing. After this half-completed unit was ravaged by a blaze last night, the cause deemed suspicious.
Last night we were notified from Tas Fire Service that there had been a deliberately lit fire on the premises. And we've got one out of our 3 units which has been destroyed.
The Gagebrook property, under development by Centrecare Evolve Housing, now pushed back indefinitely.
Substantial damage. The property will have to be demolished. It was under construction, due for delivery by the 30th of June. It's now will be fully demolished, that unit, and the overall delivery of the total development.
Leaving the developer frustrated, saying the social housing project's delay is now a blow for many families in need.
Which is extremely disappointing given the housing crisis that we're in at the moment. 3,500 people sitting on our waiting list, where 3 of these properties were going to be made available to them or their families to occupy. So we're now in a situation where that's been delayed substantially.
Fire crews arrived at this Acacia Crescent property well engulfed in flames, with the other construction in front narrowly avoiding serious damage.
It has had some minor damage to that, so we'll have an engineer certify that, but hopefully that doesn't require rectification works at this stage.
An investigation is ongoing. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians are rallying together to support those struggling in the community. From Facebook groups to product exchanges and online ordering, people are doing their bit to spread positivity in tough times.
Tending to the garden with her young children, taking time out from her busy schedule. Last week on her way home from work, Alexis Wildsmith noticed the difference that social distancing had on city streets.
If social distancing is becoming a thing, and this is going to be long term, I thought it'd be really amazing if there was a space where we can create a community.
She created a Facebook group named Southern Tasmania Community Group, hoping to connect people in her local area. With more than 8,000 members in less than a week and growing, it's inspired countless people to lend a helping hand.
That's exactly what I was hoping that would happen, and how that this group would be used. There's so many things happening like that at the moment, and it's fantastic.
The group born out of an idea for those running out of essentials they're unable to purchase, such as hand sanitizer. One woman living with an autoimmune disease was struggling to get vital supplies and had her online call out answered by a virtual friend.
To go out of their way to send us a package that was not cheap at all, it was just incredibly thoughtful.
Taroona resident Sarah has helped run a produce exchange in her street for more than a year, noticing its popularity grow over recent weeks. Stocking it with items like toilet paper, cooking books and fresh produce, items many are struggling to get their hands on.
It's really to support our community on our street, but also the broader Taroona community, and make sure people are feeling good and feeling looked after in this tricky time, because lots of people are doing it tough.
Spreading a simple message to look out for one another in these uncertain times, and that a simple act of kindness can go a long way. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening everyone. Temperatures slightly below average for this time of year, with Launceston and Devonport 20 degrees today, 19 in Burnie and Hobart 17. Around the state, 20 in St Helens, Low Head 19, 18 in Smithton and Flinders Island, and King Island, Friendly Beaches and Ooze 17 degrees. Convective low-level cloud can be seen over Tasmania today, and across Australia, high cloud extends from southern Western Australia to South Australia. Convective cloud with thunderstorms can be seen over the far north of the continent. Tomorrow's chart shows the strong high continuing to move slowly over waters to the south of the Bight, with a cold front passing to its south. Low pressure troughs will linger about the northwest and northeast of the continent. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, reaching up to 25 knots about the southeast in the morning. Hobart, cloudy and 18 tomorrow, 17 and cloudy in Dover. Ooze, also 17 degrees. Mostly sunny and 19 in Launceston. Devonport, sunny and 17, 17 degrees in Scottsdale. Burnie, mostly sunny and 17, light showers and 16 in Strawn. Stanley, partly cloudy and 18. And in the east, St Helens 18 degrees, partly cloudy and 18 in Swansea and Ross. The UV tomorrow is moderate and high across the state. Looking on to Tuesday now, fine apart from light showers about the west and far south. Showers about the west, south and central parts of the state on Wednesday, easing in the evening. And on Thursday, fine and partly cloudy with southwest to southerly winds. 33 in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy in Adelaide and Melbourne. 21 in Canberra and a shower or two in Sydney and Brisbane. And currently Hobart, partly cloudy and 14 degrees, mostly sunny and 15 in Launceston, and Devonport sunny and 15. And Rach, that's the weather tonight.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Chelsea. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Take care and good night.